I think it's important to add that, yes, responding to someone in the YouTube chat, that, yes, we do acknowledge that many conservatives or many more right-leaning people do also understand and can sympathize with the Me Too movement. And, of course, the female counterparts can sympathize with the Me Too movement. But I think it's important to understand the difference between the female counterparts can empathize with the Me Too movement. Mm-hmm. It's important to be able to tell the difference between sympathize and empathize. In a way, men will only ever be able to sympathize. They will never be able to truly empathize with the situation because they've never been a woman. This is, of course, barring transgender women.
I was going to say the number one for transgender folk who reverse the procedure after having undergone gender-affirming surgery, mm-hmm. The number one reason is men who biologically male
transitioning to female.
I'm so sorry, my brain. Transitioning to female, want to help me.
It's okay. Transition back
to medically transition back to their
birth
right.
thing, because they found that being a woman sucked so bad.
Societally was just too much shit.
Right. And then there are the men who go online and act as women, and they are barraged with the things that women put up.
Harassed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in all these cases, what infuriates me is people pass these around like, see. Why the fuck aren't you listening to women saying it? Mm. Why does it take someone who's been in your world for it to be legitimate?
Going to female to going back to male to say, no, I've experienced this.
Or a man saying, I've experienced it now. I kind of get it. I understand. You know part of it, honey, because I just last night I wrote down a quick list of Me Too moments in my life, and people think that it's like wolf whistles on the thing. No, I'm talking about slaps on the ass at work from your boss, and when you turn him in, he confronts you and says, I hear you have a problem. Mm-hmm. The fuck?
Been there.
Date rape. I mean, I didn't get a job because I wasn't willing to sleep with someone.
Yep.
And that's a big thing in academia. There are not a whole lot of jobs to be had in postdoctoral positions in academia, in entomology, which is what I was.
Well, and the credentialing process is such that it really is about networking. Mm-hmm. It really is about who you know, who likes you, who's willing to go to bat for you. Yeah. And that can turn into an old boys club very quickly.
Apparently a good fuck can change that real quick.
Yeah. Well, it was certainly, oh God. And that's not even talking about my advisor who, when we were all out as a group, grabbed my ass so hard that I had to turn physically to torque my butt out of his hand. And
vice grip.
Yeah. And then later on, when this was upsetting to me because I turned it in, I talked to HR but didn't formally prosecute because it would end my career.
Yep.
It would end it.
Yep.
For him, it would be probably slap on the wrist and keep on going. Mm-hmm. But it kept me up at night, and he and I talked about it, and he said, oh, it sounds like you need to get some counseling. I'm like, and, laying it at my feet. And then...
yeah, sure. If the other guy gets some repercussions, too.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Nearly everyone, all of my friends, graduate student friends, just like, I was... bad. I couldn't be talked to because I was...
You upset the apple cart.
Yeah, I was going to take down their hero or whatever.
No.
And even though this guy had been accused multiple times and stuff... You haven't heard of apple cart?
No.
Oh, I feel so fucking old.
How old am I?
No, I think it also has something to do with where we were all raised.
Yes,
so.
Midwest. Anyway. Yeah, and that's just... I have 20-something incidences like that. Not just wolf calls, like seriously changing my life course things.
Yep.
And that's not the same as, oh, I was falsely accused of sexual harassment at work once. Maybe even I lost my job at it. Okay, fine. And they kept saying, it's not a competition. I'm saying, no, I know it's not a competition. I'm just saying to you that whatever you can bring to the table, it's nothing compared to what women have gone through. I am sorry.
There's a little bit of triaging that needs to go on, because do men have concerns about the current cultural moment? I would argue that, yes, there are some legitimate concerns out there, but to shine the spotlight on that, to give the microphone to how difficult it is to be a man in this day and age, is to totally miss the boat.
By and far. Yes, thank you.
It's amazing how I just say like the obvious thing, and the two women are here on the Me Too episode are supposed to be like, good job, congratulations.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Yes, congrats.
Whoever is watching right now, did you believe him? That's what happened over and over again last night. I would go on and on. Is it them? Are you? What are your pronouns?
Oh, he, him.
Okay.
Yeah.
They would. I would say something, and
we check on this
just,
podcast.
Yes, and I know yours. And they would. They would not. They would give me pushback.
Right.
And then the man would say it like da da da, and they'd be like,
"Oh, okay." Oh, fuck. Yeah. Oh, okay. We get it.
Yeah. So.
And I think it's important to touch on momentarily, one, what Christy said about, by and large, yes, there are some concerns, but by and large, the Me Too movement has brought out more actual offenders than non-offenders, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And to Claire's point, what are all the things that aren't necessarily, that we can cover under Me Too that are not strictly sexual harassment or abuse? It's just being a woman in a man's world. I know I can say safely that I have been refused jobs and have been told point blank to my face that because that I was too confident for a woman. I was, as a woman, I was too confident in my ability to do the job because it was a management role. I was too confident. And I wonder at what point, and I can look back on the experience and think, was I being overly confident, right? Was I being kind of dickish? No, I was just confident and said, yes, I can fucking do this job. And the person specifically said, no, you are too confident that you are able to do this job. Then if I'm too confident, at what point on the scale is confident enough but not too confident?
Yeah, the rules are very different for women. I had so many, in academia, I had ideas stolen.
And this is in the last 5 years.
Right. There's a very different standard. If I point out something that's wrong, I'm a bitch. If another guy does it, he's brilliant. If I get pissed
competent.
off, if I get pissed off, I'm being hysterical and emotional. If they get pissed off, they're passionate. And these are all like almost trite when I say them, but it's freaking true.
It happens.
Yeah, it does.
All the fucking time.
All the time. It's wallpaper for women. It is just wallpaper. Like we could go into how being a woman affects how you live. For instance, the guy who was talking about being on an elevator and being concerned that he would, maybe if he looked at her wrong, he would get accused of sexual harassment or something. I said, when I get on an elevator with a man, or a man gets on an elevator and I'm already on it, what do you think I'm thinking about? He said, I haven't a clue. And this was a guy who said he'd lived with women and had aunts and all this stuff, and so he knew about women. I'm like, are you going to rape me?
Yeah, it's not
it's like, take a
potentially
second.
will there be some HR conversations.
Extreme violation. And and the whole thing where, men can get hurt too, men hurt men. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I don't think that's the same as rape. And here is a statistic for you. 70% of rape or sexual assault victims experience moderate to severe distress, a larger percentage of time than for any other violent crime. 70%. Being raped is not the same as being burgled, bludgeoned, picked on, nothing. It is nothing like it.
It's a different type of invasion of bodily autonomy and privacy.
It is just, yeah.
It's because when your house gets burgled, sure, it's
a violation for sure.
That's a violation, and it's an invasion of privacy. What it is not an invasion of your personal bubble. It's not an invasion of your body. Your body.
You know, sex is supposed to be a happy, wonderful, connecting thing, and to take it and weaponize it.
It can be.
Yeah, if you weaponize something that's like that, it isn't just that it's an awful thing. It changes it for you for the rest of your life in some cases. It's destroyed a lifetime of how you go about the whole process of sex. It's a big goddamn deal.
It is. It's a very big deal that many of us have had to deal with.
Yeah.
Well, and to that point, as you're talking about the experience of it and how it's significantly different from being burglarized or something along those lines, I feel like one of the ways that it's most significantly different is if your car gets broken into, or if somebody ever gets physically assaulted or hurt or, forbid, murdered or something along those lines, the immediate response is going to be, I can't believe that happened to you. Right. I am so sorry.
It's not,
and that's very, very different from what we so often see in cases of rape or sexual assault. What were you doing on that street at that time of night? How much did you have to drink? These types of questions don't come up. I mean, if my idiot friend gets their house broken into for like the third time, I might start to ask, why don't you start locking your door? This is ridiculous. But that is considered like a pretty aberrant reaction to somebody having their house broken into.
I mean, barring having the, Robin Hood Men in Tights chastity belt for anyone.
Call the locksmith!
You get that reference.
Yeah.
Barring having one of those. You don't get it. If you are a man, you just don't get it. And it's okay. We don't expect you to get it fully. We don't expect you to be able to empathize with that. What we expect is some fucking consideration and some believability. Not, what were you wearing? Oh, I'm sorry I gave you blue balls. I'm sorry. No. Blue balls is one thing. Guess what? Women can get it too. But you know what? We don't go around raping men at the same rates. So maybe take a moment and think, and then jack off in the back alley. Whatever. Don't fucking rape us. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that
yeah? You're looking over to me and for a rebuttal, I got nothing.